Hello everyone. So in this video, I am going to teach about Operations Management Lecture 5. Let me share the screen. So the week 5 content is all about capacity planning and management, as you can see here. So the learning outcomes of today's session are to define and measure the capacity, to understand what is the meaning of capacity, demand, forecasting, and to assess the difficulties of matching capacity to demand, to evaluate and apply strategies for matching capacity with demand in the short, medium, and long term, analyze the impact of constraints and bottleneck by studying a theory called theory of constraints, and outline different strategies available for both manufacturing and service operations, and to explain and apply key forecasting techniques and understand circumstances when they are appropriate. So there are different types of forecasting techniques like scenario planning, Delphi technique. So you're going to study about all these and you're going to understand in which circumstance they will be appropriate. Okay, to talk about the meaning of capacity planning and management. Yes, so capacity planning and management, it actually involves the process of ensuring a balance between what a business can produce, that is the capacity of its production, and what the what the market demands. So, and how to efficiently meet that demand. So to plan all this, the entire process is known as capacity planning and management. Okay, let me tell you what is the meaning of capacity. So capacity, it is the maximum output and operations or a business can achieve. So it's crucial to determine how much a business should produce based on their available resources and also the constraints. So for example, a car manufacturing plant, they might have a capacity to produce 1,000 cars per day. So that is the capacity of a car manufacturing plant. Okay, so that is something that is a maximum output they can achieve in one particular day. So that is known as the capacity. Now, what do you mean by demand? Demand is the quantity of goods or services. Um, it's basically the quantity of goods or services the market desires, that is the customers are asking for. Okay, so understanding market demand is very essential so that the companies can avoid overproduction and underproduction. Okay, so if the market demands 800 cars per day, okay, and if the company is producing 1,000 cars, that would lead to excess inventory, while producing 600 would result in unmet demand. So knowing what is the actual demand is very essential so that the business can avoid overproduction or underproduction, okay, which leads to excess in cost or expenses. Now, what do you mean by the term forecasting? Forecasting is all about predicting the future demand, okay, accurately. So businesses, they basically use the historical data, that is the previous data, okay, the market trends and other factors, so that to align production capacity with the market demand. For example, if a smartphone company forecasts higher demand during the holiday season, they may increase their production capacity and build up inventory in advance because they know that they're going to have higher demand and they're going to have more sales in the holiday season. So this is the benefit of forecasting, that is predicting the future demand accurately so that they can align production capacity with the market demand. So basically the goal of capacity planning and management is to find the right balance between capacity and demand. Or what happens when the company overproduces? Overproduction can lead to excess inventory cost, that is increase in the inventory cost because they have to store the products in the warehouse, in the storage houses, right? While underproducing or underproduction can result in lost sales and customer dissatisfaction. So we might lose the customers when we can't give the product that they're asking for, and it also leads to not satisfying the customers. Okay, so effectively planning the capacity and managing the capacity helps business organizations to optimize their resources and meet market demands efficiently. So this is all about what is capacity planning and management, why it is important, and what are the meaning of capacity, demand, and forecasting. I hope the concept is clear to you all. Also, okay, let me tell you the concept of capacity management. It is very critical aspect of any business operations because it impacts various areas of an operation. It determines how quickly inputs can be transformed into outputs and the quantity of products or services that can be delivered in a specific time frame. So let me give you an example of how capacity decisions affect different operations in a business. Yes, you can look at the example here on the screen with passengers per flight on an aeroplane. So let me explain that example to you in detail. Yes, so airlines must carefully manage their capacity to determine how many passengers can be accommodated on a particular flight, on a single flight. Okay, so this process involves considering factors like the size of the aircraft. The airline company have to consider what is the size of the aircraft, the seating configuration in the airline, and the space required for each passenger. So basically, if an airline operates a plane with a capacity for 150 passengers, but if they're selling only 100 tickets for a particular flight, then it means the airline is not operating at its full capacity because they can accommodate 150 passengers, but they're selling tickets only for 100 passengers. Okay, so it means they are not doing optimization of their resources. They are not operating at a full capacity, and a potential revenue is lost. Basically, they're losing the revenue that they would have got. Okay, on the other hand, if they overbook and they sell 160 tickets for a flight which can accommodate just 150 passengers of capacity, then it could lead to passenger dissatisfaction and operational challenges. This example gives you a clear understanding of how capacity decisions can affect different operations and why capacity planning and capacity management is important, so that we can avoid overproduction or underproduction, as in the example of passengers per flight on a airplane. Okay, the next important concept under capacity management is we're going to study a theory that is known as TOC, theory of constraints. All right, I think this is the new concept which you haven't studied earlier. So let me tell you what is the meaning of this theory. So basically, the theory of constraints, it is a management philosophy that focuses mainly on identifying and addressing the constraints. Constraints means the bottlenecks in a system to improve the overall performance of the organization. So the key idea is to find and to remove the constraints so that to optimize the system's capacity and efficiency. So the whole ideology behind this theory is to remove the constraints so that the company can optimize their capacity and their efficiency. Let me give you an example. Okay, think of a factory which has various machines which is used to produce a product. Okay, so one machine is functioning slower than the others, so it is causing a bottleneck in the production. It is causing a constraint. It is hindering the production process. That's what I can say. Okay, so the theory of constraints would involve identifying this machine as a constraint. So the machine which is not functioning properly, which is very slower compared to all other machines, this machine is identified as a constraint. Okay, and then the company has to take steps to enhance its performance. Okay, so it might be such as upgrading or adjusting the workflow or getting the machine repaired. Okay, so by doing so, the factory can increase its overall performance overall production capacity and the overall efficiency of the organization. So basically the main goal of theory of constraints is to ensure that the entire system operate at its maximum potential or maximum capacity by continuously identifying and addressing the constraints as they arise. So as and when any problem arises in the factory or in the operations, the company or the business has to identify and they have to address those issues so that it is not going to hinder the production process. So that is the main goal of theory of constraints. Okay, so I think this theory is very uh, clear to you. So the other concepts related to capacity planning and management are there in the slide. So you can find these week 5 slides on Moodle. Also, there are some videos in the pre-class activity, and also please download them. Please watch the videos. Please download the Moodle slides, go through them, and also please do the post-class activities on Moodle. Thank you so much.